This coin collector really bombed sending their paper currency to PCGS currency grading. We're going to talk about that and if you should send or submit your currency to grading. My name is Daniel. You're watching Coin Help You. Thanks for watching my latest video. If you need help with coins, go to coinauctionshelp.com/forum. That's our help community. The link is in the description of the video and a pinned comment. My CoinShop website is portsmouthcoinshop.com. I repeat, portsmouthcoinshop.com. You can buy coins from us there, check out what we have to offer, or just look at the images of coins because we have all kinds of beautiful coins up for sale and some currency. So let's get started. Let's talk about one of my submissions and how much it cost me. So over here is PMG. I sent, and PMG is associated with NGC. PCGS has their own currency grading. Then you've got legacy grading, which I don't use. PMG, this was 15 notes, cost me $666, and that was not my shipping to them. That's $44 for 15 notes, if I did my math right. Probably closer to $46, $7 with the shipping to them. So just remember, you might as well save. You're going to have about $50. You've got your membership as well. So you're going to have $50, $60 in your notes if you don't send 100 of them. I'm just sending 15. Most people are going to send 5 or 6. Not only that, they received them on 6/27 of 24, and I got them back on 8/20 of 24. So almost 2 months. It's not too bad. It seemed like it was longer than that. I thought it was longer, like 3 or 4 months, but I guess it wasn't. But it just seemed like it. And these were some rare notes. That's why I sent them off. A lot of people are going to have common notes and some notes that I'm going to show you. And that's what we're going to look at next. So recently, I purchased 2 coin collections, and they had currency in those collections. And some really nice currency, but they had this currency in it that was sent off. And this is the legacy grading that I was talking about. At one time, there were some issues with this company. I guess it's owned by someone who's reputable now, and they're trying to build a reputation. But, you see very fine 20 on it, and there's no mention of all these tears, missing pieces. So I wouldn't, it's a damaged note. But anyways, regardless of that, I'm just showing you just as an example of legacy. They're probably cheaper. It says edge, damage, splits, and tears, so it says it on the back there. But these are the ones that I want to talk about. Now, I know that there is a program that you can enter the serial numbers, and it'll tell you they're low mintage or low print or whatever. The point of it is, even if something's rare, it doesn't mean that there's a demand for that certain serial number. So that's kind of misleading. So you can't go by that. You can't get all excited. People do like birthday notes, radar notes, binaries, and things like that. Yes, they do collect those. You can put them on eBay. You can check eBay and see how much they're worth. But most dealers don't deal with that stuff. You have to be a special currency, specializing in currency. Let's put it that way. This is a star note, and just because it has a star on it, it has to be a little bit older. The most modern notes that have stars, like the $100 and all that, I get those in the shop all the time. They have very little premium. You might get $5 or $10 or maybe even $25 more. But when you put them on eBay or you try to sell them, and you got credit card fees and eBay fees or PayPal fees, it pretty much eats up what it cost you to put it up, or what you made. I mean, your profit. So it's just not worth it. So I wanted to add that. But this is a star note. Okay, and it graded 40, and it looks like a really nice note. Most people would think that would be AU or uncirculated, but it's only worth $20. Now remember, it costs $44 to $60 to have these graded. Now PCGS currency is probably a little bit different price, but they're all about the same. So I just wanted to add that. I wanted to show you the PMG prices. I don't have the PCGS prices up as far as what it costs. I haven't sent the PCGS since they came back to grading. Here's another one. This is an example of an extremely fine, and it's a 1935 silver certificate, and it's a nice note, but it's only worth $5 in this grade. And those are the green sheet prices, or the gray sheet, which is the green sheet is their paper currency, and the wholesale's even less. So you wouldn't want to send a note like this off. Even with a special serial number, you're better off just taking a picture of it with a special serial number and sending it, putting it up on eBay or something. Because 66263237, I don't see any significance because I don't do that kind of thing. I don't do the serial number thing very often. If I see a radar or a really low serial, that's one thing. Low serial numbers, yes. Here's another example. It's worth $8, 45, 57 star note. And star notes can be worth money, but they have to be high grade. Now, if these are 67 or 65 and 67, 66, yeah, they've got a little bit of a value. Might be worth it, but you need to check and make sure that it's the right district and everything that will be worth that much. That's why you would get books by Friedberg. Red Book has some over in Whitman Publishing. Sometimes we have them up on our site. Here's another one, silver certificate. It's 57, very fine 25. Now, one thing about this, if you have these, it gives you an idea how to grade. They're very good examples for grading your notes. These were graded pretty conservative, in my opinion, for this to be a very fine. I've seen some really bad very fines, and this looks pretty good for a very fine. And it's probably a 35, close to 40. It's got that fold right down the middle. You can see that. Deep folds and folds across and vertical, especially when the vertical like that. That's usually going to be an extra fine or less. Here's a 30 worth $3. And it's cool to have, I mean, like I said, for me to be able to buy these, I pretty much paid what they're worth, to be honest with you. I was afraid not to. I felt bad, because I know how much it cost, and these are in a holder. So I pretty much got in them what they're worth. Maybe even a little bit more. This is another star note, another example of $8 parent minor stains. Like I said, it's good for grading, good for as a grading example, but not so much when it comes to worth. You lose your hind end doing this. Most people lose their butt whenever they're trying to send stuff off of grading because they don't know how to grade, and they get delusions of making a bunch of money doing this. And it's just not going to do it. You need to really know what you're doing. You need to examine a lot of notes. You don't want to send any note off like this that's not uncirculated. Star note, I don't care if you think it's a special serial number or a rare serial number according to the software, it's still not going to be worth it. Now we're getting into where it's getting close to being worth it. You got a 35A. If you got a 66, it's worth it. But at this point, at a 55, it's really not worth sending off. It's a nice note, though. You're getting close whenever you're getting to this condition when you want to submit them. Now, if this is a star note in this condition, it'd been worth it. So you want to make sure that you are, like I said, learning how to grade, not getting stuck on something you saw on eBay. I have a lot of people telling me that. They walk into the coin shop and they say, I did Google search and this note came up and it said it's worth $1,000. And I said, well, let me see. So we'll do it up here on the computer, and it ends up being some eBay listing that someone's trying to sell it for $1,000. Here's a 64, it's worth 35. And you're just under where you need it to be. I said, that's what someone's trying to sell it for, not what it's sold for. And I show them a listing. Then I show them a listing what it's actually sold for. Now we're getting into notes that might be worth it, depending on what you have in them. This being a 1921 National Bank note, it's fine 12. It's going to be worth $80. That's the retail on it. Might be worth a little bit less. You're getting close. So hopefully, if anything, this might give you an idea of what not to send off to PCGS or PMG. It's $20. This is a funny back. It's a nice note, but not worth sending off for grading. We have another funny back. Now, this $90, if you were inherited a coin collection or just bought a bunch of notes and just happened to be in there, and yes, at AU 53, it's about worth it. But you better have a bunch of notes, because I'll tell you, I think the membership fee is like $100 and some, so you got to add that on top of it too, on top of the grading fees. Here's another example of not sending it off. You shouldn't send it off, Here's another example of you shouldn't send it off. Very fine 30. Funny back. It's called a funny back because it has that paper money look, like a play money look. And even though this is a Hawaii emergency note, fine 15, it's $35. It's not worth sending off in this condition. They put Hawaii on these in case Hawaii got took over, and those notes would be considered in value, not valuable. That's why they did that. That's why they call them emergency notes during World War II. And this one here, is worth sending off for grading. If you have a 64 or a 63 even, anything that's going to be in the uncirculated in the Hawaii placement note, $260 for that one. That's pretty cool. Now, will it sell for $260? I might have to make a deal on it. Someone might want a discount because it's kind of retail, but we'll see. It's just a nice note. You don't see them like that very often. Now, these notes will be at the coin show tomorrow. I'm not going to sell them through emails today. I want to take them to the coin show, give everybody a chance to look at them in hand. So hopefully I'll see everybody at the Teays Valley Coin Show. It's where I'll be. So thanks for watching my latest video. Please like, share, and comment, and have a great day.